Howdy, Inspire artists! Welcome to this week's video and another installment of our Mythical Creatures series. Today we'll be using our chalk pastels, black marker, pencil, and eraser to create a nighttime scene of a werewolf, a person who turns into a wolf-like creature during a full moon. Let's get started. I'd like to first point out that I already drew a border around my paper for myself so that I don't really color off the sides of the paper. You can also do this if you'd like. Alrighty, let's take our pencils and start by drawing a horizontal line that starts right in the middle this way and stops in the middle this way, going about halfway across the page. Next, let's draw a line coming down at a diagonal, starting from the end of the line we just drew. This will be our cliff. Next, we'll draw some trees right next to the cliff. I like to do simple zigzag shapes for the tops of pine trees. Don't worry about detail, we're going for simple shapes. Next up is our werewolf. He might be a little tricky to draw, so follow along closely and replay the video if you need to. Instead of worrying about details like his fur or eyes or whiskers, we're going to start with big shapes to make up his body. I draw a small circle about 3 fingers above the cliff, right about here. Then I draw another bigger circle right below that one with a little space in between and a bit to the right. And one more smaller circle right about here. We've just mapped out where his head, chest, and hips will go. If you've watched other videos here on Inspire TV, you're probably already familiar with basic shapes. But if you aren't, I'll explain now. Anything and everything can be broken down into basic shapes, including people and animals. Starting a drawing with these basic shapes, such as circles, will allow us to slowly add more detail as we go along, to make sure we're getting everything in the right place first before adding detail. As artists, it is important that we work from big shapes to small, so we don't have to erase mistakes as often, and to make sure everything looks like it's part of the same object. Anywho, back to the video. Draw a curved line like so, connecting the tops of the circles for our werewolf's back. Then do the same for the circles on the front for his chest and belly. Now, onto the legs. Starting on your lower circle, draw a sort of stretched out backwards 2, and draw another one coming off the top of the circle like this. Let's replay that. Awesome, and I draw him a nice long tail like this. I then thicken up his legs a bit by basically drawing the same lines again, but behind the first ones. Now let's do his arms. I draw 2 lines coming off from the middle of the big circle, like so, and then 2 more bent at an angle for his elbow. Notice how I'm letting my lines get farther apart from each other. This is a stylistic choice, meaning I just think it looks cool. Then I give him a big clawed hand, with 1 thumb and 3 pointy fingers connected to his arm. Then I move on to his head, where I use a rectangular shape for his muzzle, with a little hole in it so it looks like he's howling, and a triangle for his ear. And we can't forget the moon now, can we? Let's draw a big full circle in the sky, right about here. And that's it for pencil work. Now, you may be wondering why we only have 1 arm and ear. I chose to do this because this drawing will be a silhouette. Silhouettes are when something appears as solid color, usually black, like a shadow, and you can't make out any detail in the form. It's just like a cookie cutter of a person. So I chose to only draw 1 arm to make our silhouette easier to understand. Sometimes too much overlapping confuses us and we can't figure out which arm you're looking at or which ear you're looking at. Anyways, onto the line art with our black marker. Since the werewolf is a silhouette, I am only outlining the outside lines. I even connect his legs to the cliff because it will be all black in color. I chose not to outline the moon or trees because I don't want them to have the same black lines, but if you'd like to outline them, you are more than welcome to. Then I erase only the pencil lines from the wolf and the cliff. If you chose to outline everything with marker, you can erase all your pencil lines. Otherwise, leave them on your page. I do smush my eraser onto the moon lines a bit just to lighten the pencil marks since the moon will be white. Okay, color time! Grab your yellow pastel and outline the moon. Blend the color outwards for a nice soft glow effect. Next, let's go in with this medium to dark blue. The majority of the night sky will be filled in with this color, so I break it in half to create a smaller piece that will cover more of the page with its edge. Then take your finger and blend, blend, blend. Try to avoid getting blue on the moon, but don't worry too much about getting any blue on the werewolf because he'll be colored black last. Then I take this dark purple and add it in some spots around the sky, not quite reaching the bottom of the page yet. We'll fill the bottom part of the sky with this beautiful pink color, as if the sun has just set. And continue blending everything out and layer those colors. Look at that beautiful sky! I had quite a bit of pigment on my fingers, so I grabbed a Kleenex to clean them off. Next, let's fill in the cliff with black. Notice how I outline the area first before filling it in. Like the border I explained earlier, it helps keep you inside your lines. I also break my black pastel and carefully fill in the werewolf. Using the corner of the pastel will help you get into tight spots. Then we blend and blend again. I end up grabbing a Q-tip to blend the smaller areas of the werewolf where my fingers won't quite fit. And you can do that too if it helps. You may need to apply more chalk after. Then, taking the dark purple we used earlier, I outline the trees and fill that whole area in. I make sure I have a clean finger before I blend again. Then I use the clean end of the Q-tip and blend the color out to the tops of the trees. And with that, we're done. A wonderfully colorful and slightly spooky illustration. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you guys had loads of fun. Until next time, friends.